Donald Trump has always loved this country.
I would love and I would dedicate my life to this country. This country with the proper leadership can go on to become what it once was.
The threads connecting Donald J. Trump to Russia run deeper than political spectacle. They trace a complex web of business ventures, alleged intelligence ties, and public statements that together paint a picture of enduring influence and potential compromise. Allegations from a former Kazakh intelligence chief have reignited old suspicions. Alnur Musayev, once head of Kazakhstan's intelligence services, claimed that Trump was recruited by Soviet intelligence during a 1987 business trip to Moscow. According to Musayev, the Soviets saw Trump as a perfect target, wealthy, ambitious, and eager for international recognition, and assigned him the codename Krasnov. While unverified and dismissed by official sources, the claim has reignited a debate that has haunted Trump for years. This allegation isn't isolated. It fits into a larger narrative of Trump's deep and persistent business entanglements in Russia. Branding deals, lucrative trademark sales, and real estate ventures that hint at financial motivations for maintaining ties with Moscow. Trump's eagerness to capitalize on Russian markets often seemed to blur the lines between business and geopolitics.
Donald Trump is a street fighter.
Donald Trump learned a crucial lesson as a child.
Do whatever you have to do. You say whatever you have to say. Winning is everything.
Donald Trump is a major deal maker, and he has made his money mainly from Manhattan real estate.
Trump, 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 Trump. His name is his power.
We realized what Americans really loved was celebrity. If you were a celebrity, everything was possible.
You're fired. You're fired.
Positioning his brand in spaces where influence and strategy intersected. The speculation deepens when considering the timing of Trump's entry into politics. Following his Moscow trip in 1987, he took out full-page newspaper ads criticizing U.S. foreign policy and military alliances like NATO. The rhetoric bore an uncanny resemblance to Soviet propaganda of the time, raising eyebrows among analysts who wondered whether these comments were purely coincidental or reflective of external influence. Fast forward to 2016, and the shadows of suspicion intensified. Trump's presidential campaign quickly became entangled with Russian connections. Paul Manafort, his campaign chairman, brought baggage, deep ties to pro-Russian oligarchs and political operatives in Ukraine. A 2020 Senate Intelligence Committee report confirmed Manafort shared sensitive polling data with Konstantin Kilimnik, a Russian intelligence operative. Simultaneously, Trump's ambitions in Russia persisted, even as he campaigned for the presidency.
We've met with a number of people, and we may do something in Moscow and in various parts of Russia, but we have had some meetings while I'm here, and we could very well do something. We're thinking about doing a Trump Tower Moscow, so we're talking to a group of people about doing that.
The Trump Tower Moscow project, an unrealized but potentially lucrative venture, remained under discussion deep into the election season. Michael Cohen, Trump's former personal attorney, later testified before Congress that negotiations for the project continued long after public denial suggested otherwise. Layered onto this were the arrests of Russian operatives linked to the Internet Research Agency, accused of executing a vast social media campaign aimed at sowing division and supporting Trump's candidacy. These agents, operating under Kremlin directives, manipulated platforms like Facebook and Twitter to spread disinformation and amplify pro-Trump narratives, adding another layer of complexity to an already troubling picture. But perhaps most damning was a meeting in Trump Tower in June 2016. Donald Trump Jr., Jared Kushner, and Paul Manafort sat down with Russian lawyer Natalia Veselnitskaya, who promised damaging information on Hillary Clinton. While the meeting produced no tangible results, it underscored a willingness among top Trump campaign officials to engage with foreign operatives for political advantage. Throughout the campaign and his presidency, Trump's public admiration for Vladimir Putin was unmistakable. From repeatedly praising Putin as a strong leader to expressing a desire for warmer relations with Moscow.
Do you have a relationship with Vladimir Putin?
I do have a relationship. What exactly is your relationship with Vladimir Putin? I have no relationship with Putin.
Trump's rhetoric often seemed out of step with traditional U.S. foreign policy. The defining moment came during the Helsinki summit in 2018, where Trump, standing beside Putin, publicly cast doubt on his own intelligence community's conclusion that Russia had interfered in the 2016 election.
He just said it's not Russia. I will say this, I don't see any reason why it would be.
A statement that shocked the international community and drew bipartisan condemnation back home. Policy decisions also aligned with this pattern. Trump's frequent criticism of NATO, an alliance explicitly designed to counter Russian aggression, raised concerns about weakening Western unity. His threats to withdraw from the alliance and insistence on burden-sharing reforms were interpreted by some as moves that inadvertently served Russian interests. More recently, during a February 2025 trip to Europe,
do you still think that Mr. Zelensky is a dictator?
Did I say that?
Trump sparked fresh outrage when he refused to label Putin a dictator, instead directing his ire at Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. Calling Zelensky a dictator without elections, a reference to postponed elections under martial law due to Russia's invasion. Trump's comments echoed narratives favored by the Kremlin. Adding fuel to the fire, Trump urged Ukraine to negotiate directly with Russia, implying that continued resistance would only bring more destruction. Such statements were quickly amplified by Russian state media, seizing on the former president's words as validation of their stance. These incidents, business ventures in Russia, alleged recruitment by Soviet intelligence, campaign connections to Russian operatives, social media manipulation by Kremlin agents, public admiration for Putin, and policy positions weakening U.S. alliances form a tapestry that raises unsettling questions. Was Trump an unwitting pawn in Moscow's strategy, or was there a deeper, more deliberate alignment? Was his behavior driven by financial interests, ideological affinity, or something more sinister? The possibility of KGB recruitment, ties between his campaign operatives and Russian intelligence, the consistent flattery of Putin, lucrative business deals, and the arrest of Russian agents supporting his campaign all contribute to a portrait that suggests either extraordinary naivete or something far more calculated. As investigations continue and new revelations emerge, the specter of foreign influence remains a lingering concern. The questions posed by Trump's Russian connections extend beyond partisan politics. They cut to the heart of American democracy itself. And if history has taught us anything, it's that the truth has a way of surfacing, often when it's least expected.